In today's lesson, I wanted to dive into a tool that I think can be very helpful for all of you. This is a tool that I call Dysphoria Mapping. This is a way that you can redefine dysphoria for yourself as a signal rather than a verdict. So before we dive into the tool itself, I want to be clear on what my definition of dysphoria is and how I see it. And when I speak to that word, like, what do I actually mean in this space? So inside my work, dysphoria, it's not just a gender issue. It's not a gender problem. It's not a symptom to a race even. It's a human experience. It's one we all experience here on Earth. It's something I call just the inner dissonance, really. It's that uncomfortable gap and uncomfortable feeling between who you truly are, your liberated self, your soul self, and that gap between who you believe you have to be. That false self that's, shaped by conditioning, fear, and external expectations. Dysphoria will show up when your internal truth and your external expression are out of sync. They don't match. Your body knows something is off here, and it's trying to tell you that. It's signaling to you, whether that's about your gender, whether it's about your identity, whether it's about your body, whether it's about your belonging, your relationships, or even your life path. Dysphoria is not a flaw. It's not even proof that something is wrong with you. It's a signal, and it's a messenger pointing you to where your freedom is actually being caged or boxed in. It's pointing you to exactly where it's asking you to meet yourself. So that's how I define dysphoria in this space. And why I believe the current narrative of dysphoria can be quite limiting, because mainstream culture treats dysphoria as a diagnosis, right? It typically is treated as a fixed identity marker. Like, if you have dysphoria, it means X about you. Something, to remove as fast as possible without understanding its root, without understanding yourself, without discovering yourself. It's asking you to fix it. That's the way mainstream defines it, right? This narrative makes dysphoria feel like a permanent condition. It makes it feel like it's evidence that you're broken or wrong. And it can make it feel like there's something to fear rather than there's something to work with, something to rebuild with here. Because when we get to redefine what dysphoria is, we actually start to remove the shame and we start to reclaim its power. Dysphoria does hold power. It's a tool for self-awareness and liberation. And this tool, the dysphoria mapping, can help you really understand that and tap into that so that you can listen to dysphoria to guide you rather than trap you. So this is the tool, dysphoria mapping. It's quite simple and powerful, but simple and powerful doesn't mean easy. A lot of, self-healing and self-growth and self-development and human potential, a lot of the work is, simple. But again, just because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy. It does require your conscious effort, to sit with these sensations, to sit with these stories, to hold the space, to allow yourself to show up differently and rewire them to serve you. It takes a lot of conscious strength to do that. So remember that as I'm walking you through this, because as you apply this tool into your life and start to integrate it, I want you to remember to be very, very patient with yourself. You might not get it perfect the first time, the third time, the 10th time, or the 20th time. But the fact that you're willing to show up again and sit in the uncomfortable is all that matters. Keep showing up and using the tools. So the purpose of this tool is to notice and separate the raw sensation of dysphoria from the story you've attached it to, so that you can actually work with that story as data and not, a verdict, right? So steps to practice this is: one, you want to close your eyes, you want to locate it in the body. So you want to ask yourself questions like, where in my body is this discomfort right now? Is it in your chest? Is it in your gut? Maybe in your jaw? Maybe in the back of your neck? And then after you locate it in the body, you want to start to describe it without putting in a label onto it. So asking yourself questions like, is it tight? Is it tense? Is it heavy? Is it buzzing? Is it burning? Is it hollow? Use sensation language, not labels, like ugly, wrong, or not enough. And after you can do that for yourself, the third step is to notice the triggers. So when you're in that space, you can think of the last time maybe you felt that way. What was happening? Who was present? What was said? What was implied? What did it bring up for you? Notice the triggers, create that awareness. Once you can create the awareness of the triggers, then you can start to name the story without censoring it. So you want to do this by speaking or writing to the first thought about why it's there. So for example, I had this thought about dysphoria because my body doesn't look how it should. Now, when you can do that and name the story underneath the surface of the sensation and the triggers, which the story is because my body doesn't look how it should, then the very last step before bridging it all together is to separate the story from the sensation. So you want to remind yourself the story is one interpretation, not the whole truth. And the sensation is simply your body's signal that something feels out of alignment. So instead of putting identity labels or, listening to the story and engaging with the story, you can simply remind yourself this sensation that I'm feeling in my body right now with dysphoria is just a signal that something feels out of alignment. And when you can separate yourself from the sensation and the story, the very last step, which I'll walk you through, is showing up for yourself with self-compassion and actually rewiring that story that came up for you. And we'll get there after I tell you why this is also important when it comes to dysphoria, because this really changes the game when you start to apply these tools, because we don't heal dysphoria. And I need to be very clear on that. I don't claim we can heal dysphoria, but what I do claim is we can change our relationship that we have to dysphoria. And when you can change the relationship you have to dysphoria, you stop seeing it as proof that something is wrong with you. You start seeing it as a valuable feedback about where you've been, shaped by external scripts or other people. You start to reclaim your power of choice. Do I believe this story? Or is there a deeper truth here? What do I want to believe? And when you change your relationship with dysphoria, you begin to catch the patterns and triggers earlier, allowing you to respond with clarity instead of spiraling. And this leads you to spiral less. Okay, so tonight or tomorrow, set aside 10 minutes and just ask yourself these questions, or after this call today, if you feel called to. When did I last feel dysphoria? Where was it in my body? Locate it where it was in your body, and then ask yourself, what was the story I told myself? And when you could do this for yourself just to practice, then you can walk yourself through that very final step of bridging it all together, which is replacing the story you have been telling yourself with a self-compassionate belief that serves you in your path. So I provided quite a few examples for you here, and I will walk through them. Let me let some people in here because I should be watching this too. Okay. So I will walk you through the examples I wrote in here for all of you when it comes to replacing the old dysphoria story with a more compassionate one. Because when we think about belief rewiring when it comes to dysphoria, I don't want anybody to ever think that I'm guiding you to bypass the feelings underneath the surface. Rewiring beliefs is about getting real with yourself. And when I walk you through these examples, I hope that you can clearly see how belief rewiring is actually more about being real with yourself rather than pretending something doesn't exist. So here are some examples for you. The old story for dysphoria might be something like my body is wrong. A new belief for you could be something like my body is communicating with me and I can honor that without shame. I'm learning to honor that without shame. Then old story could be I don't belong anywhere. A new belief could be my longing for belonging shows me that spaces I want to create and be a part of. An old story could be everyone is judging how I look. A new belief could be I can choose whose gazes I give power to. Old story, if I were different, I'd be loved. A new belief, love that requires me to be someone else isn't love I want to keep. Old story could be my voice doesn't sound right. New belief, my voice is mine and it carries my truth, even if it shakes. Old story, I'm too much or I'm not enough. New belief, I'm the right amount for the right people in the right spaces. Old belief, I'm broken and I need fixing. New belief, I'm whole even as I grow and evolve. Old belief, I'll never feel at home in my body. New belief, home is something I can build inside myself, step by step, day by day. Old story, if I show my real self, I'll be rejected. New story, being real is how I find the people who truly see me. You see, as I continue to go on, we're not bypassing the experience. We're completely taking the story that is not serving us and saying, hey, I see you and I don't need you in my life anymore. And I'm going to say bye to you and I'm going to replace you with something new that actually makes me feel good inside. And that's really the basis of this entire tool here. That's like the heart of it all, really, is just noticing the old story and then meeting it with something that can actually support you instead of reinforce the old wounds. That's all that it really is. This is where the real rewiring begins. And it's something we all get to practice every day, over and over again, moment by moment, thought by thought. Remember, on a science level, you can't always control that first thought that comes in, so don't shame yourself. Just stop, pause, don't judge, and then replace it with something new that serves you. Just because you can't control that first thought doesn't mean you can't control the second thought. That second thought is your power of choice, so use it wisely. That's it for the lesson. So I will shift gears to a more open space today. And yeah, everybody bring your experiences, your questions, and even your resistance into this room. This space is for you today to ask any questions. So yeah, come off the mic, drop it inside the chat. Feel free to drop any questions, any curiosities, or anything that's coming up for you today.